Okay, so we are now recording, and first, thank you for either listening to the recording or being here live, for caring about this lineage, for really wanting to pause for a moment as a lover of yoga, practitioner of yoga, teacher of yoga, incorporator, integrator of yoga in your other practices, but yoga is definitively in your life. There's no other time of the year than this Guru Purnima time for us to sit with gratitude, to receive the grace of the Guru. And the grace of the Guru is to take us to the recognition of the One, to be one, to recognize Source. That's the role of the Guru in the sense of what we are speaking of today. And for allowing us to be in really some meditation, some recognition as a day of prayer and intention setting. And I wrote a blog about it. There's actually a blog on the New Mexico School of Yoga, and there's the same blog, but then added to a bit, anyway, little slight variations on my personal website. And it's something I've honestly been writing about for quite a while as I researched the archives of Dropbox, and rightly so. And I realized that my connection to this day is, as I looked back on my history, I thought, wow, how cool that I can talk to the students and everyone showing up today about this day, with me having a personal connection to the very lineage that we're talking about, because I have physically been to two of the places that are very much related to Guru Purnima. And for whatever reason, I had just that epiphany in putting this program together today. So there's that. So yay, thank you for giving me that teaching, Guru Purnima, because that's really what it's all about. In the West, I think we've recovered, but there was a Guru obsession and a search and a need to be and find this mystical Guru that was going to zap us with a potency, right? That was going to be our salvation in some ways, right? And we elevated humans to these places out of a need and a desire and a hope for this peace, this tranquility that desperately we are searching for and we want. Yes. So that recognition is what, quote unquote, offered us gurus, teachers, spiritual guides. And the word guru, we know, is a Sanskrit term. And we know that the word guru has to do with some sort of Himalayan traditional, right, Indian lineage. Everyone sort of knows that when they use the word guru. And it almost sets something up. Now, the direct translation often used in Ayurveda, guru also can mean heavy, guru. But guru also means to bring one the light, to awaken the light, to move you out of heaviness and darkness into light. In a way, it's the sattvic movement out of tamas through rajas is the guru, right? Does that make sense? And so the guru has to do with light, but I also love Ayurveda's input of the word guru as heavy, as a guna, right? Heavy light, 10 pairs of opposites, and heavy. And so the Ayurvedic Vaidya, the Ayurvedic guru, will say yes, because guru must also be very heavy in his practice, very dedicated, very steady, right? Heavily committed, if you will, because then he won't be swayed by the winds of temptation and desire. So guru is heavy, grounded and rooted, does not waver, in order to be able to carry that action of taking us into wisdom. But the wisdom that Guru brings us to is the recognition of the light of the One. So if you read the blog, the Guru takes us to G. You are you. The Guru is within us. It's like the story of Anahata Chakra and the deer, the musk deer running all night long looking for the scent, recognizing, well, the scent is you all along. You're that sacred, beautiful, wonderful scent that you've been looking for and that you so desperately want. So Guru Purnima also has us at a junction. And I think it's important to go back to the summer solstice for a moment, because I really couldn't fully embrace the yogic side of summer solstice other than telling you it has to do a little bit also with Lord Shiva as the Maha Yogi. Yeah. And that is because it brings us to this day. So the myth, right? Of course, you know I love myth. The myth tells us that the 7 great rishis, Vashishta being one of them, the Sapta rishis, remember, they had yogic conferences in the Himalayas, and that's how they came to the wisdom of Veda and Ayurveda and everything else. So in their austere dedication, it is said that they sat for 84,840 or 84 years, hours, but you get the 84. Hence why that asana number that goes around with Lord Shiva. But they sat in so much dedication and meditation to recognize to, of course, what are they meditating on? They're yogis. They're meditating on stilling the mind, finding the freedom that is the space between two thoughts. They mastered that. And in that mastery, consciousness noticed these humans, right, doing such deep meditation. So Lord Shiva, as the sun turns, so to speak, from Uttarayana to Dakshinayana, from the north to the southern, right, trajectory, as that change happened, bright light shines upon the earth, and Lord Shiva sees this and decides that he will bring the wisdom of yoga to us mortal humans. And so, first and foremost, we have the alignment of Mahadeva or Lord Shiva as Mahayogi, right? So, a Shiva mantra could be very appropriate. Om Namah Shivaya. Myself, I have been enjoying Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushti Vardhanam Urva Rukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshiyamamritada. Yes, right? Very healing mantra. I found my mind going into, right, this negative space. Just the other day, I was like, oh, Mahamrityunjaya, right? So, and then I realized, yes, of course, that's why that's coming to you. Because we are here at the Guru Purnima, the cusp. All the Shiva mantras are coming to me. And then we have, of course, the recognition today. We should give thanks to who else other than chanting to Lord Shiva and really being in the space of Om Namah Shivaya. Tonight as the moon rises, and tomorrow, especially as the moon sets, I will be on the beach at 4:30 in the morning to watch that moon set over the ocean, even if it's pouring rain. I know exactly when the moon will be setting. May I see it or not? So, but so far, so good. And therefore, today is also the recognition of the great sage that most individuals in yoga know, Sage Vyasa, right? Vyasa. 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 So Sage Vyasa is the greatest sage that we should all be greatly thankful for, because he with the help of Lord Ganesha, wrote down the sacred Vedas, the Rig Veda, the Sama Veda, the Yajur and the Sama Veda. And accordingly, actually, he gave one Veda to different, to these rishis to hold the knowledge of each Veda. The four Vedas, it was responsible to one person per Veda because that's how much they could remember. Of course, they had to start writing it down, and then they wrote it down. And he also wrote and published the Mahabharata, and Sage Vyasa is also responsible for offering us the Puranas, which are all these wonderful myths that we know about and we love. And notice that before the Mahabharata, there is the Ramayana, if you remember your like timeline of sacred texts. And the Ramayana belongs to Vashista. So it's why I got into the celebration mode of Sage Vashista just recently, because it is that time where the sages were, and he's also a Saptarishi, right? So this is the time like for all of that right now. And it makes sense with all this light because, you know, the days are going to seemingly realize that they are getting shorter. But also super cool on this day is that Gautama Buddha delivered his first sermon, his first teaching, his first like words, right? In a place called Sarnath, which is near Varanasi, India. And so Buddha offered us a sacredness in teachings because it is on this day that, well, basically, out of the realization that it's not about living the aesthetic life, I have nothing, right? And it's not about being the wealthy king that I am and come from, but it's the middle path. Give me one moment because I need to get my little spray. Okay, sorry. I always forget that I'm gonna probably get eaten alive. Um, I try not to, but I can like see them flying around me. Little buggers. Okay, plus it's feeding time. It's 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, something like that. So, but I got my cones. I'm gonna start burning my little cones. So Buddha is kind of somebody that we can all relate to, yeah? So the teachings of Buddha on this day, I think, are powerful for us because honestly, it's something that we can like be like, oh, well, that's a nice, fun story. But this is like real deal, right? Real deal that these teachings have a powerful significance and place. And so what the Buddha really offers us without getting lost in anything else, which I have to say, it's like, okay, well, that was, you know, that's my mantra, right, for like everything, which is live in balance. And that's exactly what he taught, the middle path, the middle way. What he said is not, it's, it's, it's not about having it all. And it's not about having nothing, right? It's about just having exactly what we need. And Ayurveda is exactly, right, putting us in that path, that recognition, that kind of questioning. What do I have too much of? So I can always come back to balance, always come back to balance. If I don't feel well, mind or body, well, it's because I'm not balanced. Because the very nature of me is that balance. And so he said, right, that for the the middle path, right, to sort of be realized is that we want to avoid extremes. And so he offered the four noble truths and offered his eightfold path, which of course we even have, you know, Ashtanga yoga, the eight-limbed path of Patanjali, which is often compared. Now, the four noble truths, there's suffering. And I think we have to keep remembering that because we hate it, right? We hate suffering. I mean, I don't like it either. But that's the truth. There is suffering. And so as long as I can just keep reminding myself that suffering is there and suffering exists, right? That's important. And then I'm going to sit with it and realize, well, this suffering, it has a cause. There is a cause to this suffering. There's a cause. Do you see there is a process? There's a cause. But the cause can be removed. Yeah. Cause is removable. And there are ways to remove this cause. There are ways to remove the cause. See, there are ways to remove the mosquitoes all around me with my essential oil blend. There's a cause to my itchy suffering, and it can be removed. But it's the simple truth. There's a cause to my mental suffering. There is a cause. And my mind shall cause me to suffer. There's a cause and there's a method, and it can be removed. And so this gives us hope, right? Because we have a recognition, a path. And the path is right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, karma, right mindfulness, right concentration, right attitude, and right view. We're all saying the same things. This is just a nice, really simple way to kind of, put it on you and remember it. But what is right? See, that becomes the question. Well, what's wrong and what's right? What is right? How do we know what is right? Right? How do we know that's not right? Right speech, right action. How do we know? That's, see, that's important because it's how even Buddhism could become extremist, right? Or any other path. And so I don't want to linger on that. But what I do want to kind of um, spend some show you is I'm going to share here for a moment. So we're celebrating Guru Purnima, yeah. And I told you about the writing. Sage Vyasa wrote down the Vedas, right? He wrote down these texts with the help of Ganesha. And it's actually in a place known as Mana. Here I am in my little yellow coat. I can't forget to talk to you guys about yellow. And it's called The Last Village. Coincidentally, I'm going back in October. No, I don't have crutches. I just have walking poles because remember, I'm blind in one eye. Okay, just want to clarify that I did not do anything to myself. Now, here's one of the caves where they said the Mahabharata was written, right? So so this is the cave. You can see, like you can go in, like, obviously they made it a little bit of a not museum, but I mean, it's a place where you go. See that you can enter there and it's all very peaceful. And there's this constant quiet meditation and you can sit in there and meditate and it's pretty powerful. It's pretty amazing. And so that cave is related to the story of Sage Vyasa, yeah? Kind of cool. And it's in a area known as Bhadranath. Oh, yeah. Bhadranath. And so even here, this holy ground is so holy that at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, right? So obviously you have the battle and all this at the end. And so everything's restored and goodness comes. Well, the Pandavas, the five brothers, including Arjuna, they're like, well, now we really just want to like go to the aesthetic life, right? Like they went looking for what's known as the stairs to heaven. And obviously I went looking for them too. Now, I didn't put all those pictures on here, but on the path to on the path to find these steps to heaven, which literally is like at 13, 14,000 feet, and you're like barely breathing, and you're like, yeah, now I understand because I'm going to die and that's how I'm going to get to heaven. But anyway, before all that, there's a place called Vasudeva Falls, right? And yeah, and it's cold. Um, and these are said to be dharmic falls. So the Pandavas, they on their way, they stopped here, right? Now you have to like really, I mean, it's a good hour plus, like, terrain, rough, walk, hike to get to these falls, but totally worth it after the cave. And I can't believe how much snow is there, yeah, because yeah, anyway. Um, I'm freaking out a little bit because I'm going there this year and I'm thinking, oh my God, how am I going to manage after being in Costa Rica for so long? But okay, so these Dharmic Falls, Vasudeva Falls, they're Dharmic Falls. So they say that when you go there, the falls move towards you or you get splashed with the falls, that you're on the right Dharmic path. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a testing point before you can actually proceed to the stairs of heaven, is to stop at the Dharmic waterfalls and really make sure that, that before you, that you should really, if you can go any further. And there's even a black dog involved in this whole story. Kind of cute. Okay. Then here's Sarnath, by the way. So I went there too. So this is where Buddha delivered the sermon. So you can definitely see it's an archaeological site. And it's, well, it's like, I don't know, World Heritage Site. I don't know, but it's a big deal. And you go, and lots of people go. And there's the beautiful statue devoted to Gautama Buddha, where he, sat after coming from Bodh Gaya, where he was enlightened, right? Then he came here. And upon coming here, he didn't look like the yogi. Do you see what I mean? Because he wasn't fat, but he wasn't like super thin. He was juicy. Not fat. I don't want to say that, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, he just didn't look yogic, but also didn't look like the prince that he was. Right? He just looked like this normal guy. And so he, in a way, almost was slightly disrespected, right? And his answer back, I don't have it memorized, of course, or anything. And I mean, I have it written down somewhere, but it has something to do with, well, I've come to the realization, that if you lead this purely aesthetic life, you really just become disconnected from reality, right? So if you become super pure about everything you do, you're disconnected from the truth. I mean, you almost go into a delusional place. I found this so interesting reading this thousands of years ago, right? So if you go this purest place, truth will escape you, and you really just become sort of delusional, right? And then, if you go the other way, you're just like in this drunken stupor of stupidity, just too much. So it becomes almost very tamasic. So he said, the middle way, the middle path is the way to go. That's just the best way. And they were like, whoa, wow, okay. Now okay, wow. And so then he delivered and his speech. And I just love the lotus is there. And of course, lotus means wisdom, enlightenment, fat Buddha. And these are the archaeological ruins here. So obviously this is just something pretty new, modern, that was created, right? Very pretty. I mean, it looks ancient, but not as ancient as the ruins over here. And the mandalas and the stupas and the ancient temples that were there. You have to realize that India has gone through such a history of being raped of its culture, raped of its gold, raped of its everything. I mean, and I don't want to say like the white man, because it's like been just since its inception, it's just been colonized. I mean, time and time and time again, right? But the culture somehow has survived. Like somehow, right? This these teachings have made it through. Why? Because woof, I mean, what would humanity do? What would humanity do? And because it is the will of Shakti, it is the will of the universe, it is the will of where we should be. So today, and as we move into the moon rising and setting, and in this juncture, what is nice is to sit in meditation, of course, to be with mantra. You could even leave your malas outside to be bathed in the moonlight, because right, they're your malas for chanting mantra and things like that. So you can leave them outside, because today's moon then it receives the sacred blessings of the guru as well. And of course, what's on my blogs, I don't want to repeat myself or anything like of that nature. But entering now, like preparing for a bit of practice, is that there is an alliance today between moon and certain planets, which really creates what we could say a receptive cosmic energy to receive the grace that is wisdom. There is, if you will, a portal that is opened with this moon as the planets align. And it's why it's chosen. And it's why so many things happened during this particular moon planetary alignment post solstice. So, if anything, open yourself up to be receptive to receive the teachings of grace, of receptivity to whatever it is that you need. The whole night in India could be spent meditating, singing, and, obviously being with the guru. Some famous gurus like Amma, the hugging saint, great celebrations, I'm sure, go on there. When Vivekananda was alive, when Gandhi was alive, honestly, I am sure he was highly celebrated. So this is a time that if you didn't run to be with an individual that perhaps has that connection for you, right? Then they just are invited to our heart. We sit under the light of the moon and know that the reflection of that wisdom is what's there in the fullness of this moon for us. To give thanks to all the sages, all of the saints that have come upon planet Earth, so that these traditions can continue to pulse through our lives daily. So the first yogi, yes, Lord Shiva, to the modern yogi that we all recognize as Buddha. But get out of your way, right? This junction, and really sit in receptivity. Empty your cup. Deepen your sadhana, meditation, and mantra tomorrow morning. Get up earlier than you would, perhaps. Or make a dedication Monday night to really be with that setting moon, to try to see that full moon. It's peaking technically Monday morning. But it is the most important time for us to surrender to an inner grace. That is not made up of thinking mind, but it's very much related to universal cosmic mind. Now, also in this tradition, if we think of cosmic and celestial energy, we cannot escape to think of the guru in the sky, Brihaspati, Jupiter, as a planet. Hence, why I'm also wearing yellow. So it's nice tomorrow to wear white and yellow. Yeah, white and yellow for the moon and for Jupiter. Because Jupiter is the guru, Brihaspati, teacher. And he has a special placement in the sky tonight, obviously. Yellow, happy, round, jovial Jupiter. But the teacher, the guru's guru in the sky. Jyotish would say all great teachers have a well-placed guru that has them be teacher. That's obviously related to Dharma, but our Dharma isn't to be a teacher. If you're like, oh, my Dharma is to be a teacher, well, how do you teach? What makes it so unique in the way you teach and how you teach, right? So you have to keep going and going and going because it's very unique. But this Guru Purnima is about Dharma, is about our purpose. So part of this juncture is if you open yourself up to grace, face north, east, east, but really I feel like northeast is a great direction because the north is where you ask questions, right? And the east is the light of the sun and the grace. So northeast feels like the powerful direction to sit with tomorrow or in this junction. Because it's also, we want to open up to receptivity to be taught. So we have to be willing to listen, right? We have to listen. So we have to quiet the mind in order to listen. But this is a really great time to ask a question you need guidance on. You need support on. I need guidance. I don't know what to do here. You need the grace of the Guru to help you. So what do you need the grace of the Guru to help you with right now in this time? Try to breathe that in for a moment. What do I need? What do I need the Guru to show me? And I just have to listen because I know this is about cosmic wisdom. So be deep in that questioning. Deep. What do I need? So what do you need? What do you need and want to ask so that you can receive the grace of wisdom? What do you need support on? What are you confused about? Unsure? Where is faith missing or lacking? But turn your heart to be guided. And what do you need to be guided on? What is that I need to be guided on? You, unique to you, right? Really embrace what is needed for you, not others, right? The Guru is a direct relationship, you and the grace of the one, the grace of what will guide you to greater light, to greater awakening, to greater wisdom. And when physical guru is not there, what is the most amazing thing about all of this is that you can be sure that guru is there. When you pause, when you stop, when you listen, when you feel that pause between your two thoughts, when there is a true emptiness, slowly, slowly, just sitting, the heart will speak. The heart will speak because that's where the guru is. Heart. And hence the mantra Om Guru Sakshat Om Guru Brahma Om Guru Devo Maheshvaraha. Right? Guru at the heart. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Right? That's the end. Is at the heart. At the heart. So let us prepare for some prayer movement into chanting and meditation for our last quantum time together. Okay, so just give me a moment. I'm going to pause because I need to move some things. So just simple Vajrasana here. And at the heart and from the heart, right? We're here inhaling, just let the arms come forward, open out, and reach back behind you. So into the heart reaching. Why? Because we're listening, right, to that cosmic embrace. So the arms, let them keep going. I'm just going to kind of give you that side view also, is that we want to, this in prana flow is Hridaya mudra, a heart mudra, that we want to feel this whole movement, right, coming all the way back, forward, and reaching. Yeah, exactly. Because the guru is at the heart. And our heart field is quite expansive and quite large. There we are, opening. Beautiful. Keep moving just like that. Yeah. Now, see if you can pause with your hands right at the heart and think of going up and out and down, and then coming forward from the heart, out, down, and coming up and out. Good. Keep going. Just checking it out. Beautiful. Yeah, and then going up and out. So we go up and then we go forward. After we go up, we come down and we come forward. From the heart, right? And then we go up from the heart and out. Good. And down and forward. You got it. Beautiful. Now pause at the heart here. And so here, as we pause at the heart, connecting, feeling the mantra, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yeah, feel that? So now, feel arms start to go up. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Can we rise? Yeah, I'm gonna do that again, obviously. So let's start here. Just think Om, Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Rising. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Rising. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Take a pause and sit. Now see if you can, as a collective, right? Oh, but I guess you realized that I was doing child's pose. I didn't see that my camera got shifted. Sorry about that. Anyway, we can be in collective together, but internally. So let's try it internally, right? Om. Sitting up. So on your own, again, just follow your mantra. Om. Sitting up. Now I'm just going to hold space as you go. Om. And begin internal mantra. Just following your rhythm. Rising up. Back to the heart. Om. So slowly as you sit up, sometimes we want to be in meditation for a while and our hips get tired, so you can just slow it off. Like, let's say you're meditating a while, then just do the windshield wipering, the side to side. See where my feet are here. So as you come off, then just let your feet relax and move your hips side to side. Tell you why. Here. So circulate movement in the hips and legs. So great. Then we come to a seated malasana here. So hips are moved, and then we're seated malasana, and we come back to prayer here. So we honor Jupiter, but there is the great guru of which we are upon, which is Mother Earth. And I think of Saraswati, how she was offered in the Veda as Vak, speech, vibration, which is also mantra, which also brings a wisdom teaching. Hence, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshvaraha, Guru Sakshat, Shakti, Guru Sakshat. Yes. So we cannot not honor also Shakti, as in the Devi pose, right? Can move your hips, but here is the great Devi pose, downward pointing triangle, coming to the earth, coming back into the heart, rising up, and then feel that earth triangle coming down into the earth, bringing it into the womb, and then rising danda, coming up. Yeah, so bring that movement in. Move my microphone. Yeah, keep going. That's it. Beautiful. So feel that earth Shakti connection, right? Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Sakshat Shakti, everything that is. Here. And rooting in. So now let's come back to the heart and pause. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshvaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshvaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Internally. Last cycle. Take your right foot under your left knee. Allow yourself to sit. Lengthen into the danda. Keep the knee nice and straight. Come into lotus, Padma Mudra. Another sort of sacred yogini asana here of pausing and being, and the lotus at the heart. Breathing in and out. So emptying, asking the sacred question. Slowly allow yourself to sit more evenly and comfortably. And Padma Mudra, the wisdom lotus at the heart, is also another way to empty out, right? Empty, empty. So come with Padma Mudra, but inside, you're empty. And the lotus is really just the offering to sit with grace. To take the opportunity, because the universe is finally listening. So it's time to carve out some time in this junction, 24 hours, if you will, to sit and become clear, authentic. In what it is that you need support, guidance with. Now, there is a little asterisk that I have to put in there. That if we ask for support on something that is simply not in alignment, probably not coming your way. So when we need to be guided, be guided along the path you were put on this planet right now to serve. So ultimately, grace of the Guru shall always guide our dharmic path. Karma action. May the Guru grace you with the karma aligned with Dharma. So the potency is now to sit. Really breathe in and out. What are the best pranayama practices that can heal the path tomorrow morning? To awaken pranic pathways for deeper listening. You don't have to actually do anything other than align to listen to the divine. All you have to do. So nothing to purchase. Show up with an earnest heart, quiet mind. Listen. The portal is opening. It's here. First, Gratitude to this life, to being here, to even knowing about all of this. Thank you, all the rishis. I bow to all the teachers. I bow to all the beings of light that I have come upon and have yet to reveal themselves to me and for me. I bow to all that is coming so that I may serve better. May I connect to true purpose. And may I receive all the tools I need for what it is that I am here to do. Guide me, teach me, protect me from the wrong path. Show me what is right. Protect me from what is wrong. Jai Ma, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namaha. Namaste.